Next month, The Predator is back for his 5th feature film, and this time, The Predator is Prey. Like, that's the name of the movie. With me now, along with my co-host Brian, please welcome the stars of Prey, Amber Midthunder and Dakota Beavers, the Predator himself, Dan DeLegro, director Dan Trachtenberg, and producer Jane Myers.
Hi, welcome.
Hi.
Thank you all so much for being here. The movie kicks ass. I'll just say that first. Before we get into anything, it's important to establish that this movie rules.
Yes.
So thank you for making it.
So right off the bat, this is a Predator period piece, which is, I feel like, kind of two opposite concepts that sort of came together well. Dan, Jane, how did this sort of come about?
Because I think period sci-fi is peanut butter and chocolate, or peanut butter and fluff. And there aren't enough of that kind of movie. I was really driven to make something, a movie that was told primarily through action, very inspired by, like, Fury Road had come out recently when I was thinking about this, and but didn't want to make a movie that was just a visceral, thrilling experience, wanted to be emotional as well. So we thought about making it this, give it the engine of a sports film, of an underdog story.
The entire movie is set in the wilderness, in the wild. It seems like that was crazy to make. Like, can you all, I mean, you all survived it, so that's good, you're here. How was that? How did that go?
I mean, it was insane. Every single day, there was never one single day that I showed up to work or that I looked at what was on the call sheet for the next day and thought, like, oh, tomorrow is the day where we coast. Like, there was never that much. And we were there for, like, almost 6 months. So it was just every single day of that. But I mean, you know, having that kind of texture in the movie and having everything be so, like, we were outside every single day. Like, we watched the seasons change. We were there from spring to fall. So, you know, I think that's all included in hopefully what you feel and what you see.
That's impressive. It's a very physical, you know, visceral movie. Like, obviously, I don't want to spoil anything. There aren't any, like, miniguns. There's not really any helicopters because it's several hundred years ago. So, like, you've got this kind of analog thing going. And the three of you do a little bit of roughhousing. Like, what was the sort of training approach to that like?
Oh, you know, it's fantastic, man. We did like a 4-week boot camp, Amber, myself, and the boys. And so, man, we were running around with bows, horse riding for me, rolling around in the dirt. It was like, you know, being a little kid again, playing in the woods with your friends, but getting paid for it. So, fantastic.
Now, there's also obviously the sort of the Comanche element to it here, where its culture is being shown in a big movie for, I don't know, probably one of the first times, right? How is it bringing all that into the fold here?
Well, it's really exciting because for me, I am a member of the Comanche Nation, enrolled member, and for me to see my my culture up there 100% of the time, because sometimes I get hired to do movies and the native aspect's like 20%, right? And with Dan, it's like 100%. So it's just, it's incredible, and it's really great for the nation too, and for like all native tribes, because this is the first time that the movie is completely dubbed in Comanche, so that way you can watch it twice, watch it in Comanche and watch it in English. And then, you know, I mean, just to have that is incredible.
Now, Dan, this is it's kind of a different type of Predator. What was, you know, you talked about sort of the setting for the movie. What was your sort of approach to bringing this Predator to life? And I guess, you know, Dane, like, how did you respond to that direction?
Yeah, I was really excited to make something that was undeniably Predator, but also completely new, so that even diehard fans of the franchise could enjoy surprise. I think we often forget that the '87 movie was filled with surprises when it came to the creature. It looked one way cloaked, looked another way decloaked with that biomask on, and then it still had something else in the tank. And I really wanted this movie to operate that way. So you see our cloaked Predator move and fight in a very unique style, and then it decloaks somewhat, and we engage in those sequences in a brand new way, and then it still also has something left in the tank. So yeah, that was the main impetus, is to make something new, have a new arsenal of weapons you can see some precursors to what we've seen before, but there's also so many new weapons for people to be stoked on and pretend to wield against their buddies and all that stuff.
Now, Dane, I've talked to a lot of people who I think have been chased after by the predator or had their spines ripped out or whatever. What's it like to be a predator? I've never interviewed a predator before.
Not a good pickup line.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
No, it's incredible, and to follow in the footsteps of Kevin Peter Hall, it's obviously he's 7'2", big shoes to fill there. It was a tremendous responsibility on my end. A lot of training. I trained for like 2 months for parkour. The suit itself was significantly heavy. The head was very heavy. Did a lot of neck training. But obviously with what Dan was looking for, it's a different take, and it's while still staying true to the Predator form, it was something fresh and lean and dynamic, and we kind of had to put our heads together and create this amalgamation of all those elements to create this new thing while still being a predator, and that was the final product. He's like scary and fast and animalistic and not as human as his cousins are from
He's gnarly. I want an action figure very badly.
Yes, that has to happen. I've never said that before, but we need toys of all of you.
Sounds good.
So another weird pickup line. So the Predator shows up, and I'm not spoiling anything, but it's a little bit OP, right? A little overpowered compared to what you two are dealing with, especially. How do you kind of sort of strike that balance there? Because in other movies, it seems like there's kind of a level playing field tech-wise, but here there's a pretty big gamut there.
Interesting. I mean, I guess I can only speak from, I realize the more that I hear Dan talk about the movie. He and I were making very different movies about Nadu. He often talks about this as an underdog story, and I never once viewed her that way. I was like, this is a movie about a very strong, capable person. So I mean, I don't see it that way, I guess, just because, you look at it historically and throughout the franchise, and it never comes down to tech. I think it really often comes down to something else, or your mind, or whatever. And Comanche people were known for being such fierce and incredible warriors and hunters. So it's funny to me to hear that, because you look back at this period in time, and I don't think of it as the Predator is so far above these people. I think, no, he picked a really good time to drop into Earth to pick a very strong opponent.
Well, see, that's why you have the confidence that it takes to fight a Predator.
Now, I would also point out that, the original Predator, it decides to level the playing field against Arnold, and he sort of disarms himself. And that's one thing I did not want to do with this movie. I thought if anyone's going to go toe-to-toe against them, they have to really fight for every advantage that they can have.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Well, I wish we could talk to you about Prey for 45 more minutes, but I have to wrap things up. Prey streams exclusively on Hulu starting August 5th. We have tons more Comic-Con. After that, check out Prey. Please check it out. It's on Hulu. It's awesome. More Comic-Con. Stick around.